Well, isn't that just fucking refreshing, isn't it? God damn it. Okay. So we're watching this after Halo, and so the entirety of Halo, not a weapon is discharged. Nothing more dangerous than Pablo Schreiber's Schnauzer is ever on scene at any point. And then this comes along, and you know what? This was actually kind of, in a way, a genuinely exhausting episode, because the combat, the action, it is long, it is heavy. People are not just dying, they're getting mutilated. Every moment, another fort is blown out of the sky. It's tense, it's exhilarating, and this really was an episode that hammered home the stakes of Masters of the Air. There are no invulnerable superheroes here. Like, people are dying left, right, and center. Even today, practically the entire formation is wiped out.
Save for one fort. That is absolutely correct. And that's something that I think was really interesting in today's episode. Like, seeing all the two characters we're introduced to in the beginning of the show, both of the Bucks, they're gone.
Well, one of them is at least alive on the ground.
Well, yeah. One of them is alive and is now fleeing and not occupied Germany.
Occupied Germany. Welcome to this alternative World War II telling.
They were conquered by space aliens. But yeah, no, he's fleeing and through now because he's therefore got shot down. But yeah, we saw their entire wing get knocked out, and it was pretty intense seeing all the characters get wiped out. Like, we only got like a handful of dudes left that were there at the beginning now. There's very few characters.
Yeah, no, because that's the thing. This shit was dangerous. Incredibly dangerous. The attrition rate was incredibly high. Because, yes, flying daylight bombing raids was actually kind of idiotic. That was the problem. It was very dangerous. They were in danger of flak. They were in danger of fighters. They were in danger of course, countless mechanical failures. 3 forts, was it 4? Had to abandon before the mission even got underway.
Yep, bringing them down to a total of 11 forts. And then they lost, like, what was it, 1 or 2 to the flak right away, bring them down to 9 forts and their wing left. Yeah, they were dropping relatively quickly.
They're dropping like flies.
It was an absolute massacre.
And what was nice about it too is, like, this is a long action sequence, and it was physically draining because you are tense the whole way through. See, this is something I'm going to talk about in a video I've got planned. That'll probably come out like next week. How modern entertainment has made villains more entertaining than heroes. Not because the villains have gotten better, but unfortunately because the heroes have gotten worse. And one of the big things in it is that there are no stakes anymore. You're never afraid for Ahsoka's life, or Obi-Wan Kenobi, or anyone, because these are all so established heroes that they're never going to die. They're not even going to get injured in any real sense or way. But these are just soldiers. These are just aircrew in a war that cares nothing for them. The flak doesn't care. The enemy doesn't care. This is just combat. They go up with 17 forts. 1 comes back.
Yep. And that's something that makes you feel like there's actually stakes. Now, this is all based on, an actual true characters and true story, these things actually did happen. But that's something that we don't see a lot in media anymore, and it kind of reminds you that, like, too often do we see characters in other shows where they die, but he comes back because nobody's ever really gone, because they can't really merchandise that, and it's kind of all become so sickly in that way, in that sense.
Yes. Entertainment has managed to trap itself in a sludge mire of unending characters. Whereas, of course, you don't need an unending character. We've begun to value the characters more than the story, which is an enormous problem for us. Whereas here, they have the story. Now they're just telling it with the characters in question, portraying it all as effectively as they can as entertainment. Because obviously they do take their liberties. The Germans continue to use air-to-air fucking missiles for God knows what reason.
Use them a lot, yeah.
The turrets on the B-17s are remarkably effective. We get a scene of a B-17 dogfighting Messerschmitts.
Okay, let's be fair. It wasn't dogfighting, but the pilot was. He knew where the dead zones were, or the dead zones of the plane were, and where the gunners could shoot. So he was basically waggling it like you do in War Thunder, you know. So that the gunners could
waggling the stick, just like in War Thunder. Okay.
Yeah, it's like wiggle. You know?
Well, there you go, Kyle. If they did it in War Thunder, I'm sure they did it in real life.
I'm just saying they might have been being a little bit cheesy about it, yeah.
And that's fine too, because you need, this is an action show. At the end of the day, you need a little bit of suspense, you need a little bit of gunfire, you need a few explosions, etc., right? That is all fine and dandy, because it doesn't ever get in the way of the rest of what's actually going on, the telling of the tale, and the weight and the fury of it. Because I think this is also something that a lot of people who are unfamiliar with the Second World War also don't quite understand. Because they begin with the first couple of episodes, like introducing you to the B-17, right? The flying fortress. It got guns everywhere, etc. Look, it comes back to base with all kinds of holes in it. And yeah, the B-17 was tough, but it was not invulnerable. And in reality, it was a big, dumb, lumbering beast that was usually torn apart by the fighters, and only its formations saved it.
Yeah. The fact that they could provide cover fire for everyone else, just, you know, like a prickly porcupine.
That and the fact that, see, this was one of the kind of brilliant parts about the B-17's design. There's so much dead space in it. You can shoot most of it, and he won't actually hit anything of particular importance. Plenty of backup systems, can keep flying on 2 engines, etc. And the Germans, mostly with their 50 caliber machine guns and their 20mm autocannons, just didn't do that much damage to it. It was a big damn thing, a big goddamn target, and relatively few things that you could hit that would actually down it.
Made it like a big pinata. So it was very hard for them to actually strike any critical components, and even when they did, odds are there was a redundant failsafe system that could, compensate for that. That's what made it the flying fortress, after all. Like, it was such a remarkably sturdy beast of a plane.
And why the Germans started putting 30mm cannons on their aircrafts, which ruined the poor Me-262. Oh, 30 was a terrible weapon.
Listen, they just didn't like that B-17 carpet bombing them, Like, one thing that was interesting in today's episode is we're starting to get to the war, and the war's tension's heating up, you can tell. Because now the Americans, because in the initial part of the show, they're like, oh, we're only bombing military targets. But now, just like in history, as the war went on, they're now like, well, we're bombing this rail yard. Yes, it's in the middle of a city, but we need to take out this rail yard. And so it's like, okay, you are bombing a city now. And there were some people that didn't like that. But there were also some people that were like, no, fuck them. Like, they're not going to stop fighting us until we kill them, when we hit them where it hurts. And so you're starting to see the tension as the war goes on start to eat away at these people, and they just want to hurt the Germans now.
I also really like
for
that
hurting their friends and
they
stuff.
didn't drag this philosophical discussion on, because you could make a meal out of this, and I feel like hell, goddamn well would.
Oh, pain.
Instead, they simply just present the 2 points of view. One guy's like, those railway workers didn't kill Bucky. We shouldn't be bombing them like that. It's a bit cruel and unusual. And the other guy's like, no, Germans are military targets.
It's like, they're all supporting the war machine. The only way that's going to stop is if we bomb them. And it presents both points, and then guess what it does? It just moves on.
Okay, make up your own mind.
The viewers can determine what they like. That's actually some little bit of clever writing right there. You don't see that very often. Normally they straw man the side you want, or to not like. Look at that one. That one's dumb.
That one's dumb. I do expect that we are going to start moving into prisoner of war stuff now, though, more infiltration stuff, because,
yes.
The Bother Wings kind of wiped out.
Yeah, we have one character left that is still left that they're following, but Buck is now downed as well, and now he has to escape Germany because he's in Germany. Like, there's literally a scene of the next episode of a German dude with a hunting rifle hunting Americana.
A very determined German farmer, yes.
Yes, I love it. This German farmer. And you know what? Maybe that could be an interesting bit of story too. The German citizenry are also being hurt by these bombers. Maybe the bombers killed the German farmer's family. Or maybe that guy that threw that pea bag out, maybe that landed on the German farmer and he's out for revenge.
Maybe. Unlikely, but maybe.
Good chance. Good chance.
I also just really like, again, that they keep showing off the B-17s, right? Because they've got the interior, they keep showing them crawling up through hatches, etc., to get around, to tying up wounds, flicking all of the little buttons and stuff. It feels like a living interior. Like, God, this is just such a good World War II show. And it's the only one we've gotten in so long, and it's going to be 10 years till we get another one.
Like, I want them to do, like, after this movie, because the interior shots, dude, I want them to do, like, a fucking, a tank show, where we cover, like, a Sherman crew from, like, Africa to, like, Italy or Normandy, wherever they go, I don't care. That'd be cool. And then I also want them to do, like, a PT boat crew in, like, you know, the Philippines and stuff, because that'd be sick.
It would be. But, because this show is running on Apple Plus, which no one even knows exists, we're never going to get anything else like this. This is the last piece of good entertainment about World War II we will ever receive. It's over.
You know, not enough people are going to watch this show. Like, we can sing this show praise all day long, but many of you are just going to sit there and be like, that sounds neat. And you're not going to watch it.
Like, listen, viewers. Okay?
How tragic.
If you were willing to go out
How
and
tragic.
buy the Ray doll, now you go out and buy the Bucky doll, okay? Buy plushies.
Buy the show. Buy the show. It's the only good World War II show we'll ever get. And you know it. And we know it too.
It probably is. Man, it's a great show. Watch it.